Praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Also want to give double honors unto the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of Yasha, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you Akim out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, teaching and prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, in truth and sincerity, as well as you men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations, but are of the nation of Israel on their father's side by blood. And before I get started, I just want to double check and make sure it's picking up the sound. Sometimes I'll be, oh yeah, we good. Sometimes I'll be having the mic plugged up. And when I unplug it, it do its thing. So as you can see within this title, it says public safety concerns lead to cancellation of major New Year's Eve events. What to know? I'll read a couple paragraphs in it, but at the end of the day, the article is about exactly what it says. You got places out in Paris, places out in Tokyo, canceling certain events that normally would happen on New Year's Eve, going into the New Year's. Like this says, it says fireworks will still take place at the Arc de Triomphe instead of a live concert. However, a pre-recorded one will be broadcast. It's a lot. So as you can see, they giving you, and it's like you can still enjoy the event and be at your home. As reading this article, my mind's kind of everywhere through the spirit, because we understand. I was sitting here thinking, and you've been hearing a lot. Two main things I've been hearing about, jobs in the sense of AI taking over, people losing their jobs due to that, which in fact indeed is happening, and also safety or security, one of the two. And that's what they're taking these measures for, is the safety of people. You just hear safety, 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 safety is going to put your mindset into making sure that you're safe. So whatever plan they come with that involves your safety, you're going to be all for it. And as we know, they pretty much in the process of setting up their NWO, right? So it says, in order to create a safe and secure city, we continue to be vigilant against nuisance behavior arising from drinking on the street, as well as a risk of crowd accidents. Because, which they got into it a little bit, but you had, I think it was this year, where you had that pickup truck that rammed into the crowd of people celebrating New Year's down on Bourbon Street. And they're trying to prevent those type of things. I guess you said somewhere in this article that there was a plot in LA that was supposed to be taken out upon New Year's Eve or whatever. And that's what it is you just hear safety, 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 security, security, security. And it's going to put you in that mindset. And the scriptures say, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming. Because they're going to get it to a point where, all right, okay, it's going to be, this is how it's look good. It's okay. It's fine, whatever. And really they're putting you in a trick bag, right? So, like I said, watching how people drinking on the streets, as well as the risk of crowd accidents, and it's pretty much New Year's Eve it turns into a big club party, I would say a global club. Like, I ran across this video earlier, and it was of a woman, and she was saying, I plan to get carried out again on New Year's Eve, you know? And that's people's mindset. Like, people have the mindset, oh, Thanksgiving is coming out, I'm about to pig out. And I always say, you can eat as much as you want any day throughout of the year. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. But you do it because you're in that Thanksgiving, that holiday spirit. Christmas comes up, winter in general. I look at it as the holiday spirit, Christmas and all it is. And now it's time to be nice to people and give gifts and receive gifts, or whatever the case is. Go broke doing it. Right? And then you turn around, what? You got people understand that the end of the year is coming up. So they want to do what most of the time? Get their last little bit out. Whatever they plan on giving up or sacrificing or stopping. They want to do it one last time. Go all out on the town with the party or whatever, and then do what? Make a resolution, all right, that most don't keep. It just sound good because at the end of the day, this society is not built for your creativity. This society is not built for your self-development. You know, it's just really built as a huge distraction to keep you not paying attention to the moves that are being made at the end of the day, right? So with that, of course, you got the First Peter's, and I'll start at 1. It says, chapter 4, verse 1, it says, "For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live in the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High." And that's what a lot of these people are afraid to give up. The scriptures say what? He that loseth his life shall find it. And they scared to give up the life that they live, the party life and the life of no responsibilities. Ultimately, we're not talking about going to work and paying your bills, even though those are responsibilities, but I'm talking about to the Heavenly Father. Like it said, arming yourselves likewise with the same mind to suffer in the flesh, man. And that causes what? That, the ones that has ceased from sin, okay, that decided to serve the Lord. It comes with limits, it comes with restrictions, it comes with boundaries, okay. But most of our people, especially, as well as the rest of the world, want to live how they want to live. Well, that's why YAHAWASHI is establishing his word throughout this earth. All right, he establishing his elect throughout this earth. He's establishing his power throughout this earth, his men around throughout this earth. Okay, and then he's going to establish his will and his way, his kingdom. Yahawashi's kingdom, and us being joint heirs. All of that is coming very soon. All right. So it says, "For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you." So because you don't live that life that you once lived, people have a problem with that, and it stems from them doing the same thing every year. Just like she said, she planned to get drug out of the bar pretty much again. So you pretty much you plan to get drunk as hell, until you pretty much can't walk for the most part, or you need to catch an Uber or whatever the case is, right? But instead of just like sitting your ass at home. You keep hearing safety and security. They obviously want you to stay home, you know. But going into the reveling, it says, "A nocturnal and riotous procession of half-drunken and frolicsome fellows who after supper parade through the streets with torches and music in honor of Bacchus or some other deity, and sing and play before houses of male and female friends, hence use generally of feasts and drinking parties that are protracted till late at night, and indulge in revelry." What's that? What's revelry? Lively and noisy festivities, especially when these involve drinking at a large amount of alcohol. And I think that's what Bacchus is. He's like because Dionysus, I believe, is the goddess of wine. Let's double check Bacchus. It says Bacchus is a Roman god of wine, agriculture, fertility, theater, and revelry. And that's what it is with the agriculture and fertility. That's where New Year stemmed from. Going even back to Babylon, the Babylonians. It says New Year's origins trace back 4,000 years in ancient Babylon's Akitu festival, marking the spring equinox mid-March, with rituals celebrating spring arrival, crop cycles, and divine order, involving Salakia gods like Marduk, right? Which Marduk, where we at? Where he was, Marduk was the chief god of the ancient Babylonians, rising from a minor deity to become the king of the gods. associated with creation, justice, and magic and order, famously defeating chaos in the Babylonian creation myth. So at the end of the day, man, it's a spirit that comes with these things. And that's why certain things tend to happen. People getting shot, getting into accidents, running over crowds, things being set on fire, whatever the case is, because you definitely fights. You definitely can't leave fights out. Um, they it's due to that rioting, man. And I actually want to finish this real quick. Okay, wait. Well, yeah. Like I said, when you don't do what you used to do, or you look at it as in disdain or whatever, they look at you like you got a problem. Well, you gotta grow up one day. I don't see how. I even now, at the age I'm at now, I don't see how people just go to the club every weekend. Gotta go out every weekend. You got kids, you got a job, your body's breaking down and decaying, but you find a way and a will to go out every weekend, right? It says, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Yeah, you a party pooper. You don't do nothing. You this, you that. No, I'm responsible, nigga. Shut up. It says, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the Spirit. And that's where we're at. Through the Spirit of YAHAWASHI, we bring these things out to edify, to let people know, look, that's not the right way. It's not the correct way. All right, because I also looked into the resolutions. It says tradition of New Year's resolutions 4,000 years ago, ancient Babylonians who made promises to their gods during their 12-day New Year festival, Akitu, to gain favor for the coming year by vowing to return borrowed items or pay debt, evolving through Roman pledges to Janus, medieval knights, chivalric vows, and later becoming secular self-improvement goals by the 19th century. And that's what people do. Oh, New Year's resolution, New Year's, next year I'm this, next year. And I've been hearing that, from people around the way. You know what I'm saying? And I always looked at it like, well, if you're gonna stop something, just stop it. You might as well start today. But it gives people the comfort of not feeling guilty about changing, not feeling guilty about sacrificing. It says the cancellation comes as the FBI busted a New Year's Eve being plant uh, in Los Angeles earlier this week, arresting 4 alleged gang members. The plot allegedly included a plan of coordinated bee attacks using improvised explosive devices. I didn't know if I could say it, but it's out there. Meant to target 5 separate locations across the city, the FBI told Fox News Digital. So, whether it is or whether it ain't real or not, regardless, this is what the stage is being set for. All right, it's being set for security, but here it is. They like, look, we shutting down events. Basically, this life is not what it once was. Okay, you can't just do whatever you want and expect everything to be the same. There had to be an end. Man, what is it? I think it's John. Is that First John? 2. 1 John 2:15, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. Yeah. You gotta, like I said, with the Lord, there's limits and boundaries. You don't get to do what you want. But when you're in the world, you can go following after your lust, committing adultery and doing same gender marriages and marrying and bestiality. You can do all of that. The lust of the eyes, being greedy, being covetous, wanting more and more and more and more. You know, preying on people to rob, preying on women to steal from other men. All of that, man. Pride of life, can't nobody tell you nothing. None of that is of the Father. This what I wanted though. It says, "In the world passeth away, in the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever." So that's what it comes down to. All right, so let me see if it's any more left in here. Oh yeah, there was one more. It says the popularity of these experiences. Oh wait, let me go up one. It says celebrating in New Year's Times Square is quiet's essential way to ring in a New Year's. But there are many people who never experience it because they don't want to spend the holiday packed shoulder to shoulder with a million other people. She said curated events, dinners, and cruises are gaining traction for celebration. So people are still kind of celebrating, but not celebrating 100% the way that they used to, where everybody meeting up and, like they said, shoulder to shoulder. The capacity at the club is 100 and you got 115 in there. You know? It's like, nah, man, it's too many people. Like, can nobody enjoy, just using that as a scenario. But it says the popularity of these experiences has increased since 2020, when people still wanted a memorable evening, just not surrounded by a lot of people. So people are starting not to really want to be around other people as much, you know. So this, I'll put the link in the description. Matter of fact, I'm gonna copy it right now. And this is just show different attacks throughout, around the holiday times. And I mean, that's pretty much what happens. So let's get this Isaiah 24 real quick and we'll close it out. It says, Isaiah 24:4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth languish. Let's see what that. Let's get faded. Faded away. It says to be senseless, be foolish. Yeah, to regard or treat as foolish, to treat with contempt, to sink or drop down. Language, wither and fall. It's withering away. It's circling the drain, man. Okay? It's not what it once was. That's why they're canceling all of these holiday plans and events. They're making alternatives for it and around it, but it's not the same as how it used to be. Okay, let's get language. Amal, to be weak, to droop, to languish, to be exhausted. The world, that lifestyle is weak. And weak. That life is weak. It's exhausting. It's just worn. It's played out. It's played out. Don't nobody really care too much about it. We got other shit going on and we got to deal with. That's why tourism is going down. Concerts, people ain't really going to concerts like that no more. People are worried about that roof over their head and that food in their family stomachs, man. All right. It says the haughty, Marwan, the height, elevation, elevated proudly of nobles. Yeah. Entertainers getting it too. It says though the haughty people of the earth do languish, so they ain't feeling too good themselves, man. All right. It says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances. Right. So here it is. They'll take something from these other ancient empires and just change some names, change some dates or whatever, you know, and then call it whatever they want, you know. It says, change the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, so man, you go through it speaks on how, pretty much the music is coming to an end and all of that. At the end of the day, like it said, this place is languishing. It's fading away, you know? And it's only a matter of time before it just disappears, right? So, hey, call all y'all BAHASHAM shy, all right? All of that revelry, and excess of rioting is coming to naught, man. It's coming to an end. And they're preparing pretty much just to lock these cities down. Lock them down. You can't go into another city. You locked up in the CC, a C camp. All right. So that's where we at. Call all y'all BAHASHAM shy. Every day is one step closer to the end. One step closer to the end, and Lord willing, we endure. So with that, I want to give all praises once again unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Also want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the bishops one more time. And peace and love and salutations unto the elect and the Hakim out there, teaching and prophesying His word through the Spirit of Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, in truth and sincerity. Shalom.